Shalom. Welcome to this episode of MTV Junior. This is going to be the best show you've seen all week, all month. This is going to be a great show, and it's brought to you by Baron Hirsch, the greatest show in America. This is going to be a great show. Let me tell you what we're going to do on the show. But before I tell you what we're going to do on the show, let me tell you who I am. My name is Uri Pilichowski, and this is my wonderful family. You can see we're all standing and we're so happy. There's me and my wife and my six children. Okay, so my wife is the beautiful woman in the red skirt, and I have 5 girls. You can see my 5 daughters there, and 1 boy. You can see he's right in the middle over here, and he's trying very hard not to smile because he thinks that's funny. But what's really funny is when you smile really big. Let me see you do that. Give a big smile really big. That's what's really funny, especially if you go around the whole day like this. That's really funny. Okay, well, so that's my family, and let me show you where I live. I live in a place called Mitzvah Yericho. I don't live in America. I don't live in Memphis. I don't live in New York. I don't even live in Paris, France. I live in a place called Mitzvah Yericho, and you can see the red bubble on this map. I live right outside Yerushalayim in Eretz Yisrael in Israel. That's where I live. And I live in a beautiful place called Mitzvah Yericho. You can see it's written right up there, Mitzvah Yericho in Israel. And let me show you how beautiful it is. I live in a desert, and you see all the mountains and the hills and how beautiful it is. It is incredible. Look how beautiful this is in Mitzvah Yericho. It is wonderful to live here. We absolutely love living in Eretz Yisrael. It is incredible, and it's like being at home all the time because this is the Jewish people's land. Okay, now, what are we going to do on the show today? Well, first of all, we're going to get a chance to win raffle tickets. Everybody loves winning raffle tickets because if you win raffle tickets, you're going to win prizes. Now, how do I win a raffle ticket? Make sure you have some paper and make sure you have a pen. And when I ask questions or we play games together and I say, okay, write it down, you write it down. And soon I'm going to give you an email address. And then if you send me the answers to that email address, you can win lots of prizes. Okay, how great is that? You can win lots and lots of prizes. So that's the first great thing. And we're going to have the Hebrew word of the day, and we're going to have a memory game, and we're going to ask questions about the Parsha. And each one of these things, you can win a raffle ticket. It's so easy to win raffle tickets, but just in case you don't know an answer, you can even ask your parents. It's allowed. Okay, so that is the story with what we're going to do on today's show. Okay, and the first thing, though, that we're going to do, the very first thing is we are going to tell a story about Rebbe Akiva. This is a great story. You're going to really love this story. I got to tell you, this is a really good story. Okay, so here we go. I am going to go into the story room and tell you the story. Here we go. All right. I have a great story for you today. Oh, this is an amazing story. Do you see this picture behind me? This is a picture of rocks, right? There's rocks everywhere, lots of rocks. They look very big in this picture, but they're actually just small rocks, and the picture makes them look big. But do you see how in the picture that the rocks have holes in them? They have small holes. Do you know what makes, it's very hard to make a hole in a rock. Do you know what makes these holes? When water drips down. Sometimes rocks are in a place where water keeps dripping. Now, if 1 drop of water hits a rock, nothing's going to happen. 2 drops, nothing's going to happen. But if water hits a rock for thousands of years, it's going to make a hole. I want you to remember that, and I'm going to tell you a story about that. There was a man named Akiva, and Akiva never got the chance to go to school. His parents didn't send him to school. They needed him to work right away. It was very sad. And what was Akiva's job? Akiva's job was he was a shepherd. He would watch sheep and make sure that the sheep went out in the morning and they would graze. That means they would eat the grass all day long. And Akiva would watch them and protect them to make sure lions didn't come and tigers didn't come or a thief didn't come and steal the sheep. He would make sure that nobody stole the sheep. That's what a shepherd does. Okay, so Rabbi Akiva would watch the sheep all day long. Now, Rabbi Akiva never got to go to school. He never got to learn Torah. He never got to do any of those things. And he was very sad about it. Now, one day when Rabbi Akiva was very old, he was 40 years old. He wasn't a young guy anymore. He had been working a long, long time. And Rabbi Akiva was very upset whenever he would see a Talmid Chacham, whenever he would see a Torah scholar, because Rabbi Akiva would look at them and he would be jealous. He would be jealous. He said, it's not fair. They got to go to school and I didn't. And now I'm so old. I'm already 40. How am I going to learn Torah? It's not fair. I'm going to live my whole life and never have learned Torah. And those people, they know the Torah, not because they're better than me, but because they got to go to school. How is that fair? It's not right. Whenever Rabbi Akiva would see them, he would get so angry. He even said once, when I see a Talmid Chacham, when I see a rabbi, when I see somebody that knows Torah, that got to go to school, I want to bite their ankle like a donkey, which is a very strong bite. He was so angry. Well, one day Rabbi Akiva was walking around when he was 40 years old with the sheep, and he saw rocks just like these rocks with the holes in them. And he saw that the rocks were made with water dropping down, that the holes in the rocks had water drip, drip, drip. And Rabbi Akiva said, wait a minute, how did those rocks get these holes in them? How did all these holes get in the rocks? It didn't happen one day that all of a sudden a drop of water hit it and it made this. It took thousands of years and millions of drops of water. He said, you know what? That's just like me. I might not be able to learn Torah, the whole Torah in one day. But if every day I try to learn Torah and every day I learn a little more and a little more and a little more, just like the water hits the rock, and after a long, long time, drop after drop after drop makes a hole, Torah that I learn every single day over and over is going to make me a Talmid Chacham. It's going to make me somebody who knows the whole Torah. I just have to study every day a little bit. And from that moment, Rabbi Akiva said, that's it. I'm quitting my job as a shepherd. I'm going to go study Torah at 40 years old. And he walked into the Beit Midrash where they studied Torah, much older than everybody else. And they said, Akiva, you're a shepherd. You've never studied Torah. What are you doing here? And he says, today's day one. I'm going to start today. I'm going to start learning Torah today. And maybe tomorrow I won't know anything. And maybe in 3 days I won't know anything. And in 3 months I might know very, very little. But in 3 years I'm going to know a lot more. And in 30 years I might know more than everybody here. And that's exactly what happened. In the end, Rabbi Akiva became one of the smartest people that knew Torah that ever existed. Not just when he was alive, but even today. And Rabbi Akiva went on to teach over 24,000 students. That's more than any school in the world today. 24,000 students. That's how many students Rabbi Akiva had. And Rabbi Akiva could have been nothing. He could have lived his whole life and not know any Torah had he not seen this rock with the hole in it. That's an important lesson. So if you ever feel that you can't be a big Talmid Chacham, if you ever feel like, oh, I'm not really learning anything, always remember the rocks with the holes in them. And it's not about learning everything right away. It's not about becoming an expert immediately. It's every day a little more. You do a little more every single day. Eventually, it all comes in. Isn't that a wonderful, wonderful story? Okay, that was great. Okay, so now what we are going to do is, hold on, we got to get back to the, we've got to get back to the screen. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. Got to leave. We're not supposed to go on our trip to the Kotel just yet. And now we are going to do the word of the day, the Hebrew word of the day. And the Hebrew word of the day today is 8. Whoop, went the wrong way. 8. 8, ayin taf, means a pen. Okay, and here you see pictures of a pen. Okay, so that is 8. You can't see me so well, but you can, there we go, but you can see the pen. So now, what you want to do is take your 8, or maybe you have an iparon pencil, but take your 8 and write down the Hebrew word. You want to write down this word, 8, on your piece of paper, okay, not the number 8, but the Hebrew word 8, write it down on your piece of paper, and then what you're going to do is you're going to send it to me at this email address right here. Okay, you're going to send it to me at this email address to Uri@BaronHirsch. That's to me. I'm going to get it, and then as soon as I get it, I'm going to send you a raffle ticket. And if you get a lot of raffle tickets, we're going to choose a raffle ticket, and that person wins. Okay, now you're going to go on a trip. This is a great trip. We're going to go on a trip to the Kotel. But we're going to go when it's really dark because we went not at night, early in the morning before the sun came up. Watch this. Here we go. Okay, now we're going to go on a trip together to the Kotel. Not a fake background of the Kotel, but the real Kotel we're going to go on a trip to. We're going to get to go all the way up to the Kotel. We're going to hear about different things about the Kotel, the history, the stories of the Kotel, what people do at the Kotel. We're even going to see Kohanim give brachot at the Kotel. So many exciting things. I hope you're going to love this trip.
Okay, we are now walking up to the old city in Yerushalayim. You can see how the walls, even leading up to it, are all stones. And right in front of us, you can see the old walls of Yerushalayim. You can see, as we get close, they have holes in the walls. Those are from bullets from the war in 1967 when Israel took this over. So that's why there's all these holes in the wall. You can see the street is made of stone. And these are the beautiful walls of Yerushalayim. And up here you can see we're going to walk through a gate of the wall into Yerushalayim. See how special this is? And then we come out. There's a car coming in. We come out and now we are in the old city of Yerushalayim. And now we're going to walk down this road until we get to the Kotel Ma'aravi, to the western wall. Okay, so now we have gotten to all the way down. You can see the Kotel in front of us with the bright lights. And you can see all the way over here. This is where the Kotel starts. It goes all the way down there. And you can see behind us, here, let's go over here. You can see another gate into the old city. And here's where some of the guards sit. And then in front of us here is the way to go. You can see the Israeli flags here. And you can see the guard sitting there. And then right in front of us that's the start of the Kotel. That is the southernmost wall to the Kotel right there. And this is beautiful. And here you can see that green sign says Knisa, which means the entranceway. We go this way to go into the Kotel. Okay, so now we are at the Kotel. You can see the Kotel behind me. And I want to explain what it is exactly you're looking at. What is the Kotel? So the Kotel is a wall that was built around a mountain. When you build on a mountain, you have to be careful, because if you don't build in the right way, then what could end up happening is everything you build, like in this case, the entire Beit HaMikdash, can come falling down the mountain. If there's rain or anything like that, the entire house or Beit HaMikdash that you build can slide right down the mountain because it's not strong enough. So what you do is you build a wall around the entire mountain, and that way the wall keeps everything where it's supposed to be. And even if there's rain and even if things are sliding, then nothing will fall off the mountain. So this was the wall, was one of the walls. It was the wall in the west that of the Har Bayit, of the Temple Mount, where they built a wall around around Har Bayit, around the Beit HaMikdash, to make sure that everything would stay exactly where it is. and that's the wall. So this wasn't really a wall of the Beit HaMikdash itself. It was a wall in the mountain around the Beit HaMikdash. So on the other side of this is where the Beit HaMikdash would be, and you'd have to walk through gates that led you through this wall, and then you could go to the Beit HaMikdash. But this is where Har Bayit starts. Now, we were told by the rabbis in the Gemara that this wall was the only wall left from Har Bayit when the Beit HaMikdash was destroyed. So now people come here and they daven right outside the wall. They don't daven to the wall, but they daven next to the wall because this is the only wall that was left from Har Bayit. And you can see all these people coming now. They're all coming very early in the morning. You can see the sun hasn't even risen yet. It's still dark because it's still very, very early in the morning, and they're coming to pray here at the Kotel. Okay, so this is the wall of the Kotel itself. You can see, watch this. Watch how far up it goes. Okay, see, you're standing on the very bottom of the Kotel, and these are huge stones. And to this day, no one knows how they really lifted these stones up. And then if you go close, you can see in the cracks behind between the stones, there are pieces of paper. And these pieces of paper, people put in notes, and they're like tefillot that they put into the Kotel. Some people think you should do it, some people say you shouldn't. And they also have like an Aron Kodesh at the Kotel, so people can put a Sefer Torah. And you can see people are starting to daven, and because it's very early in the morning. But this is the Kotel. We can go up really, really close, and you can see all the way inside the stones of the Kotel. You can't get any closer unless you're here, and this is what it looks like behind us at the whole Kotel project. Okay, now one of the special things of the Kotel is that the Kotel is this long wall, but this is only a portion of the Kotel. We're going to go inside the tunnels next to the Kotel. You can see here, we're going to go in the Kotel and the tunnels next to the Kotel, and you can see the wall keeps going. Watch what you can see here. That wall keeps on going, and it goes all the way. You can see people started to dive in here, and the wall goes all the way, all the way, all the way, all the way here. There's Kodeshes here, and you can see a lot of people diving, but the wall goes all the way through. And here, there's people diving all over the place. You can see how beautiful it is, even inside the tunnels of the Kotel, and that's still the Kotel. Okay, so right behind me still is the Kotel. Let's talk about the history. Who built the Beit HaMikdash? So the first person to build the Beit HaMikdash was Shlomo HaMelech, and his father, David HaMelech, was the one that got all the money and all the materials. He collected all the wood and all the stones and all the gold for the Beit HaMikdash. And then his son, Shlomo HaMelech, built the first Beit HaMikdash, and it was around for 400 years. Right behind us over here was the first Beit HaMikdash. Then, after Shlomo HaMelech built the first Beit HaMikdash, and it was destroyed by evil people called Bavel, the Babylonians, and they were led by Nebuchadnezzar. Then Bnei Yisrael was kicked out of Eretz Yisrael for 70 years. Then they were allowed back in. And then Ezra and Nehemiah, who were two other Nevi'im, built the second Beit HaMikdash right here. And this Kotel is from the second Beit HaMikdash right here. And then it lasted for 400 years. And during that time was the Hanukkah story. And when the Yevanim, when the Greeks came, and they tried to make this into a place of Avodah Zarah, and they were successful for a little while, but then the Kohanim, the Maccabees, rebelled against them and defeated them. And then we kept on going. We had a second Beit HaMikdash for another 400 years, and then unfortunately, Bnei Yisrael weren't nice to each other. They did what's called Sinat Chinam. They made fun of each other. They called each other names. They spoke lashon hara about each other. And then Hashem said, if you can't be nice to each other, you can't have a Beit HaMikdash. So then HaKadosh Baruch Hu destroyed the Beit HaMikdash with the Romans that came. They are called the Romanim. The Romans came from Italy, and they destroyed the second Beit HaMikdash. And since then, Hashem hasn't let us rebuild the Beit HaMikdash. And we're hoping that one day, on the other side of this wall, we get to rebuild the Beit HaMikdash. One day, hopefully, maybe this year. In Eretz Yisrael, the Kohanim give a bracha to the Jewish people every single day. Outside of Eretz Yisrael, they only do it on the Chayim. So these two men in front of us, standing on the carpets, are Kohanim, and they're about to give a bracha to everybody davening here. Okay, you can see everybody davening here. And you're not allowed to wear shoes. You can see they took off their shoes. Kohanim aren't allowed to wear shoes when they give the bracha. So they don't wear shoes. And they put a towel over their head. You can see he's going to put a towel over their head. And soon, they're going to turn around and give a bracha to everybody. And the Chazan is going to say one word. And then the Kohanim repeat the word of the bracha. And the brachos are made of psukim from the Torah. So let's watch. You can see this is at the Kotel still. Everybody's davening really nicely. You can see. Okay. Here we go. Here comes the brachos of the Kohanim. Let's just screen that Kohanim.
Okay, so now we got to see Kohanim give a bracha. That was exciting. Let's go make sure we get back to our show room where we have the show. Hold on one second. Okay, here we are. Okay, we've seen the word of the day. We've seen everything. Okay, and now we are going to play the memory game. I'm going to say 5 words. I'm going to say them quickly and then slowly. And you write them down. And then you're going to send them to me at this email address. And you'll win a raffle ticket if you send it to me. And then with the raffle ticket, you can get a prize. So here are the 5 words. First, I'm going to say them fast. Then I'm going to say them slow. Get ready. Kotel. Yerushalayim. Rock. Water. And Shavuot. One more time. Kotel, Yerushalayim, rock, water, and Shavuot. Okay. Now it is time for our last part, the question of the week. The question of the week is worth 3 raffle tickets. And all you gotta do is send it to this email address. What is this week's Parsha? What is this week's Parsha? That's all you got to do. Send that in. This has been a wonderful show. Don't forget the newsletter. Okay, every Shabbat in Shul, there's the newsletter. You want to get the fun letter. It has jokes. It has games where you can win even more raffle tickets. It has a Did You Know? It talks about a mitzvah and a Dvar Torah and a special person. Very easy for you to win. Okay, so make sure you get that. They hand it out in Shul every Shabbat. Okay, this was a great show, everybody. I'll see you in the next show. Bye-bye.